Hey guys, I'm Dennis. Welcome back to my channel, Guy with a Plant. In today's episode, I'm going to show you some of the plants that I'm really loving at the moment. Yeah, today is going to be towards the end of August, and I have some of these plants for quite a while. But some of the plants are relatively new. I really like them for a few reasons. Some may be growing really vigorously, but not all are doing well, but I really like them because of the way they look. Some of them are really beautiful in terms of shapes and colors. So like most of you guys, my favorites may change from month to month, maybe even from week to week. It really depends on the mood that I'm in and whether are the plants vibing with me at that moment. But generally, I like plants which are really hardy and grow very vigorously. They do not need to be rare or uncommon. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So yeah, before I ramble on, let's take a look at some plants. Okay, the first plant I'm going to show you is an Anthurium, and I must say I've grown to appreciate Anthurium more and more. But unfortunately, under my conditions, or rather the conditions in my previous apartment, are not really ideal. Anthuriums usually get very crispy edges, and thankfully in my new apartment, the humidity levels has been doing great. Alright, so the first plant I'm going to show you is this Anthurium hybrid. This is a hybrid between a Clarinervian as well as a pterodactyl, as in, yeah, the flying dinosaur. So I will put a photo of both the parent plants here, and you can take a look whether is this hybrid the best of both worlds. But look at the shape of this leaf. It's really interesting. It's kind of lobby compared to the previous leaf. This shape is more regular, more heart shape. But you can also see the shape of a pterodactyl, which is almost triangular. So it has a broader part here compared to the base. This is more elongated and pointy compared to the leaf shape of a Clarinervium, which tends to be rounder. So I've not lost any of the leaves since I got it, and the original leaves is actually this size. Is more heart shaped. And yeah, these are the two smaller leaves. Got a little bit of crispy edge here. And the subsequent leaves got bigger, like this one and this one. And yeah, so this was a new leaf that came out not too long. And 3 weeks ago, there was a new leaf which came out really tiny. I'll put a photo here. And this is the new leaf. Look at this. This is definitely the biggest so far. It's almost double the size of the previous two leaves and about 5 times more than the lower leaf. This is still very light in color because it's really new and much softer. It's not hardened yet. So wow. So if all the new leaves are going to be this size, it's going to be fantastic. Definitely one of my favorite plants so far. So currently this has 7 leaves, including the new one, and the leaves get bigger and bigger each time it throws out a new one. Make sure I don't underwater this ever. It's in this original potting medium, which is really loose and chunky. I can see these giant pieces of perlite. So yeah, it dries out really fast. So I water this every 3 days or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it some sphagnum moss on the top so they can retain some humidity. And I'm really excited because there's a new growth coming out. So the first plant is this Anthurium hybrid. Right, the next plant, or rather the next plants, because I have a couple of this variegated Scindapsus, which I really love. Yeah, I know I'm going to say that of all the plants in this video today, but these plants are really beautiful. Take a look at this. This is the variegated Syndapsus Mayari, which is the variegated version of the Scindapsus Pictus exotica. If you take a look at the leaf here, you can see the characteristics or the traits of the exotica in terms of the patterns on the leaf. And the variegation is on the elbow side, a little bit creamy, white to creamy, not so yellow. It has been growing up the moss pole, which I've extended, and it already have very well balanced variegation. Look at these two, it's really beautiful. So when I first got it, I think it was only the bottom 3 leaves, and this was unfurling. Look at this beautiful leaf. And subsequently, it has given me all these new beautiful variegated leaves. But this leaf is almost not variegated except for this little bit here. But luckily, the next leaf came out with a lot of nice variegation too, and then a non-variegated leaf. But the next one, yeah, another variegated leaf, and this is almost a half moon, still really small. And as you can see, another new leaf that is coming out. So this has been on my wish list for a while now. So I think at one point it was almost 4 digits, which is crazy. But I bought this for a small fraction of that. So yeah, I'm really happy. Seller was telling me that he watered it about twice a week, and he'll keep the potting medium a bit on the moist side. So I better make sure I don't let this dry out too much. Even though my regular exotica doesn't like to be overwatered, it will throw a fit if you do. So this is the beautiful Syngonium Mayari. Alright, the next variegated Scindapsus I'm going to quickly show you is this Scindapsus hederaceus. I really like the variegation, very white variegation. Texture of the leaf kind of reminds me of Trubii, very smooth, and it's not as stiff though. This is actually pretty soft, but really smooth. And the variegation will come out a little bit yellow, like this one, before it fades to this white coloration. So this is still sitting in sphagnum moss. Yeah, look at the roots. So I need to repot this, give it a proper potting medium. Definitely needs some kind of support. You can see the nodes here as well as the aerial roots. So I think you'll appreciate some kind of small moss pole for a start. And I'm sure it'll give out much bigger leaves. Yeah, because the newer leaves are pretty small. And look at the most recent ones. They are almost totally variegated. So far, I've not lost any leaves. And yeah, I hope this will be a hardy Scindapsus, which it seems to be. Really beautiful. So these are my 2 variegated Scindapsus. Oh, I have another variegated Scindapsus. That is the jade satin. But I'm not going to show it here because I've made several videos on that, Life of a Plant videos. You can check those videos out. I'll put the links in the description below. Next favorite plant, as you can see, is a pretty big one. It's a Philodendron Atapabonaceae. Let me try to move the camera back so that you can see almost the full plant. These 2 are definitely the biggest leaf, this one as well as this one. And when I first got this plant, it was really small. The leaves are like this, and there were about maybe 4 or 5 small leaves like this. And then the leaves started getting bigger to this size, which is about 1.5 times of these original leaves. And then before I know it, it's throwing out all these giant leaves. Look at this one. I believe the leaves can grow even bigger than this if you give it a moss pole, which is what I'm going to do. I am going to propagate this. Yeah, probably cut it here where the bigger leaves started to come out, and root that. And once it's rooted, I will give that a moss pole. And I really need to do this soon because I can see that the newer leaves are reverting to smaller ones. And there's a new leaf coming out. It's always giving me a new leaf, so that's really good. This is a really hardy philodendron, fast growing and pretty pest resistant. I was almost going to say that this is a perfect pest-free philodendron, but 2 days ago I saw something that's on this leaf. I don't think it's due to pest, but more of a fungal or bacterial infection. I'm so sad because this is one of the biggest leaves. It makes a nice statement piece with all these long leaves. Yeah, check out the back. The back is a beautiful shade of maroon. And because of the red coloration at the back of the leaves, you know, this plant doesn't need a lot of light. In fact, it will do pretty well in just medium light. and it's still giving me these very big leaves. So I water this philodendron like most other philodendrons, those epiphytic ones, maybe just once a week. And yeah, it's happy as a clam. And also look at all the arrow roots that it has thrown out. It's crazy arrow roots. And they're always trying to latch themselves to the plant shelf behind me. So definitely it needs a pull. So this is the Philodendron atapaponsiae. Really impressive. Okay, the next one is a jewel orchid, and this is a really beautiful one. I will not attempt to pronounce the name. It's something like a nocticalus. Anyway, I'll put the scientific name on the screen. But this is also commonly known, or the trade name is the Siamese golden rose, which I think is pretty aptly named because of the beautiful color of this orchid. So this has a rusty coppery shade of orange, which is really attractive. I saw a full plant in one of those orchid shows a few months back, and I was really in love, so I sought this one out. But I must say this is really slow growing. I think it has only given me one new leaf since, and that was 4 or 5 months ago. And unfortunately, I'm really sad, this was savaged by spider mites. Can you see the scars on the leaves here? Look at these telltale signs on the leaves. They are this very faded white look. Can you see? This is definitely a very beautiful orchid. The flowers are very small and not impactful. The focus is definitely on the foliage. I can see there's a new leaf that's trying to come out. So this is still in pure sphagnum moss. Maybe that's the reason why it's not growing that much. It's not getting enough nutrients. But I do water this with a liquid fertilizer once in a while, whenever I remember. So yeah, we shall see what's going to happen to this. I'll keep you guys updated. Yeah, so subscribe to my channel to be notified of any updates on this. I think they may do well in a terrarium, I'm not sure, with higher humidity. That's why I think the dryness has kind of attracted the spider mites. And so I'm wetting this almost every other day, give you a good spray. Right, so this is the Siamese golden rose. What a beautiful name. Alright, the next one is another Scindapsus. This is the Scindapsus Silver Hero. So this is definitely no longer an uncommon one, but very beautiful nonetheless. Look at the silvery blue coloration on these leaves. With these very understated veins, it would be nice if this is bushier. So I've propagated this, and as you can see, these are the older leaves that are looking even more silvery. Yeah, they are curled up now because they need some water. And there's a new leaf that is coming out. So it has this very matte, very smooth texture. Overall, I really like the vibes of this look. So I've propagated this from this plant. This is the original plant. This is really dry. And yeah, initially after cutting off, it was almost leafless, and it has grown out some more new leaves here. The thing about the leaves of this Silver Hero is that they are prone to this, I'm not sure what you call this, but somehow there are watermarks on the leaves, and this is actually pretty prevalent. Even the newer leaves. If you know what is this, or is this something I have to worry about? Some of the leaves are okay, they don't really display that, but majority of them do. So I'm a little bit puzzled. If you're familiar, do put in the comments below. Am I watering too much? So why I'm so happy with this Scindapsus is that I've grown this from a single leaf cutting, and that was really amazing. Yeah, it has grown to all this, so I'm really proud of this plant. So super hardy. Again, I think I'm really into hardy plants, easy plants. They put a smile on my face. This is almost blue, right? Or is it my imagination? But I really love the look of this. Alright, and finally my last plant. This is the beautiful Syngonium batik. Yeah, I know this is a pretty common Syngonium. Look at this leaf. The veins are insane. And this one. So this is how a mature Syngonium leaf will be like with these lobes or the years, I like to call it. Yeah, and the leaves are getting bigger. This is a new leaf that's not displaying the venation yet. You can tell it's really soft. And this is definitely an easy growing plant. It wasn't easy initially. It was given to me by a friend, just a single leaf cutting. It was looking really bad. It struggled for many months because I think I let it dry out too much. Syngoniums, guys, they really need water. There's a new growth coming out here. Yeah, it's always giving me a new leaf. These are the old leaves that are dying, but I'm not worried because it's so fast growing. And this vine is kind of trailing downwards this way. So I may propagate this further. I actually propagated this once. It broke off and I put it in water to root it, and I repotted it. And now it seems that I have to propagate it again. I just cut this off and root it further, which is going to be really easy. So the Syngoniums in my home is very prone to mini bugs, but luckily for this, I don't see any. So I'm really happy to have grown that single leaf cutting into this beautiful pot of batik, Syngonium batik. Great if you can give it some direct sunlight or morning sun, and it will give you beautiful leaves like this. So I think that's all. Thank you for watching this episode. I hope you have enjoyed contents like this. I will definitely make more videos like this. And if you appreciate such contents, do subscribe to my channel. I will see you again in the next episode. Meanwhile, take care and remember to show your plants some love.